Welcome again to the When I Wanted Out talk show. My name is Kola-Edun. Welcome to our new set. Thank you very much for joining us over this past weeks. We do hope you've been enjoying this show. Now, on today's episode, we're discussing a story titled, I Saw the Red Flags Before We Got Married, but I Went Ahead with the Marriage. Now, this is a story about a woman whose husband, who happened to be a pastor, had lost his job. Now, he took out his frustration on his wife, who now was the breadwinner of the family. One incident that she remembers all too well was a car ride that they took together that resulted in the husband punching her while they were driving. Now, this sad story transpired in this setting of Lagos. So what we saw was that as soon as they got to their destination, she tried to flee, but he grabbed her button-down dress and pulled it right off her body. Now, the contributor of this story sadly had to run out of the car half naked for her dear life. After the incident, she stayed with her parents, leaving behind her children. She missed her children so dearly that when the zonal pastor of her church and the regional pastor, including the husband, came to her, begging her to come home, she went back home because of her kids. Now, at home, there was peace for a short time. The peace was very short-lived because her husband started accusing her again of having affairs. When she couldn't take it anymore, she saw an opportunity to leave the house. She took it and she never looked back. Now, if you haven't read the full details of this story, you can catch it on all our social media platforms. To discuss this particular story with me are Miss Olashile, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And Coach Taiwo, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So this story, I will start ladies first.
Okay.
What was your initial reaction when you read this story?
Okay, so I was surprised. Initially, I thought it was a fiction or experiential that I might share that relates to that personally.
Okay.
So I just felt like that's wicked, that's evil. I was just doing I didn't really know what to say. But when I found out that it was real, like a true life story, I was really shocked.
You were shocked. You were shocked by it because the man was wicked, or
wicked and being a pastor, you know.
Okay. So
God.
A man of God. Man of God. Yes. Yeah. Coach Tara, what is your take on this story?
It's just unfortunate that what happened that way. And I know it happened in many other stories that we have not get to know.
Yes.
So there are many sides to the story.
Okay.
Because when two people come into the counseling room to talk to us, we get to the root cause of the issue.
Okay, so the root cause. So yes, you always have to hear the two sides of the story.
Yes.
Okay.
So when one person comes to talk to us about a matter that involves two people, we call it a kind of solo counseling. Okay. You know, in counseling we call it solo. Okay. It means that the person comes to tender the matter, and in situations like that, it's very possible, particularly if it's a lady that comes, that there's going to be a kind of little bit of exaggeration, emotional outbursts, and all that. And because of that, for me as a counselor who have handled several cases, we don't get moved by whatever's told.
Story. Okay, I hear that, but I mean, running half naked, I don't know how exaggerated that could be.
Well, that may not be an exaggeration because what really caused the matter, we don't know.
Okay.
You know, so what led to the point of having to beat her openly and get her to run out naked, we don't really know. You get it?
Okay.
So, for me, I'm not on the show to maybe take side with a man. Okay. Or anything. Okay. But in a way, I see a lot of things in that story. Immaturity.
On whose side?
On the part of the man.
Okay.
And insecurity is there on the part of the man. And Well, I don't know if he's born again or not.
But if you're a pastor, yeah, a pastor, I mean, yes.
It's not all pastors. It is not all pastors that are born again. Depending on the denomination where you are serving. Depending on the denomination where you are serving.
Okay. So can we discuss the issue of physical abuse? In this case, what would you think pushed this person to be physically abusive?
So
would it be the loss of his job? Would it be his ego? What is it that causes men, not just this man, to physically abuse women?
Okay, so mostly it boils down to the fragile ego. The men naturally feel they run the world and they can control you. The moment you're married to them, they see you. Some men, let me not generalize, some men see you as their property. They see you as, oh, I own you, I paid your dowry, I can do whatever I like with you. Nobody's going to question you. And again, I think this, I call it a myth, where you see, they say a woman's biological clock is ticking, so she has to take everything that the man brings her way. Because if she leaves now, who will marry you with 2 children? Who will marry you with 4 children? Where will you start from? And that's why a lot of women are actually stuck in bad marriages. Because they're like, where will I start from? Nobody's going to love me. I don't look beautiful as I used to look back then. And all that. So it's their fragile ego, it's insecurity. So in this case, he has lost his job.
Yes.
The wife has been the one taking care of everything.
Right.
He automatically feels, maybe before, if he says one and she replies him, when he had a job, he didn't see it as a problem. But now that he doesn't have a job, if he says one and she replies him like, babe, it's okay, stop complaining. Hey, you have grown wings.
Yes.
Because you are the one taking care of the house now.
Right.
I cannot say anything again.
Right.
That's envy and jealousy. There are men that envy their wives. Perhaps the kind of people she relates with, he doesn't have opportunity to relate to that kind of people, or he sees as in himself, men are natural providers. That's how God has created them. They should provide.
Right.
So he feels incapacitated, like,
I can't
do anything.
Right.
It's hurting him. He's fighting his own demons.
Right.
But taking it out on the next weak person that he feels he can take it out on. That's his wife. Yeah, thank you.
So what would you think, Coach Tayo? Why do men feel like they need to resort to physical abuse to get their point across to their wives?
Well, for some men, upbringing, contribute to their disposition in marriage. If a man comes from a home where his own father abuses his own mother, if something is not done to the brain of that man, he will grow up to get into a marriage and still also want to abuse. So cycle repeats, itself in marriages. So when we take people through premarital counseling, we try to talk a little bit about background.
Right.
Try to talk about background. Okay, what kind of background do you have? Is it a polygamous setting? Is it just a one wife, one man? And how has been your father's disposition to your mother and all that? We try to get all this facts to help to determine how a man is going to, behave or relate with the wife. So also age is just a number. Some men are not matured, but they are growing. They are old, but they are not matured.
So they are boys in a man's body.
So we have boys in the skin of men who are getting into marriage. In this situation, I don't think for me there's going to be any situation whatsoever that will make a man, even a pastor, to raise his hand on the wife.
So nothing calls for that?
There shouldn't be anything that you call for that, because a real man does not abuse a woman.
A real man does not abuse a woman.
Abuse a woman, no matter the situation, because there are going to be pressure points in marriage. And when people are not prepared for pressure points, they tend to want to misbehave.
Okay.
Yes. So in this case, I'm not supporting that the man, for any reason, should have laid his hand on that woman. Okay,
so I do have a personal story where anytime the man doesn't have money, he beats the wife, chases them out, him and the wife and the children out of the house, locks them out. Just because the wife also mentioned something that it was her birthday. She asked her husband, is my birthday coming up? Oh, please, can you get me something? And the man started beating her. Right? So she explained to me that when he doesn't have money, he beats her. So what causes people now? I'm sure there are people that watch this show and probably enduring physical abuse. What causes people to stay in these marriages when they're being physically abused?
Fear of the unknown. Fear of the unknown, because they don't know what is out there. And people say it generally now, and especially the older generation, and even the churches, the pastors, they be like, if you leave this one now, the next one you are going to meet, do you know what that person will do to you?
Right.
So the devil you know
is better than
the angel you just found. So those kind of things are limiting. Because you're telling the woman that just stay there, take it, whatever it is. Nobody cares about her mental health. Nobody cares about her emotional states. Nobody cares about what she's going through. Nobody cares if maybe just yesterday she was about to commit suicide, but maybe a baby just came in and said, "Mommy," and she quickly stopped. Nobody cares. So they stay there because of fear of the unknown. Then some people are not financially capable to take care of themselves, not to talk of the kids, which is why I encourage women, start a business, start something, do something. The man might be very, very wealthy and tell you, oh, don't worry, just stay at home, be the flower on the wall. But no, don't be the wallflower. Go out, do something. For me, I like to work. I think I mentioned it earlier that I like to work. I like to do, no matter any amount I make, I want to work. Because when he sees that you're working, you're doing something, even it will be easy. They say women of nowadays, that most of us that we are not married, that we can't stay in husband's house because we have money and our taste is high. Yeah, people are beginning to see that. So the girl is looking at you like, what are you bringing to my table? Yes. Now, before, the men will say, what are you bringing? Now, we ask, what are you bringing as a man to my table? Because this I have, this I have. What are you bringing? So if you're not bringing peace of mind, if you're not bringing love, friendship, then I don't want to be with you. And it's easy for women these days to carry their bag and go. I say, please, I beg, don't come and kill me. Carry their bags and go. But because women are liberated now.
Yes.
So we are business women. Women are running things. Come on. So
yes.
You can't come here and come and tell me nonsense.
But there's still some women that are in those marriages now that are really in pain. Mm-hmm. They are being physically abused. I mean, we talked about Osinachi, the way the husband used to beat her, but she will cover up, you know. What would you say to a woman right now that is enduring pain? Enduring pain. They are beating her regularly.
All right. So, as a Christian counselor,
you had to put the caveat.
It is not part of our practice to tell people to divorce as a Christian counselor. You understand? Because we are doctors. We are married doctors. We are not undertakers, so to say. And so even if we know that a marriage is bad, it will not come from our mouth first to go and say, hey, we are going to divorce. At best, once there is physical abuse and this, I can encourage separation. Okay. Separate for a while. Go and think separately. And if you still both want this marriage again, come back to a counselor and say we want. And in this situation, when it happens once and the woman separated, the pastor, they had to come and tell her to come back. They didn't address the matter on ground because they should have seen a married counselor. A pastor can advise. A counselor will counsel. It's two different things.
Okay.
You know, so what made you lay your hand on that woman in the first place? If you don't address it through counseling, it will repeat itself. And it happens.
Okay.
Right? That was what happened in that story.
Okay.
And so that first one, a married counselor would have sat them down, take them through therapy. The man need to have gone through therapy. And so your mental health is not stable. And the only way for you to want to express how you feel, you are not fulfilled.
I really want us to go deeper on this issue. because not a lot of Nigerian men will go to therapy. Not a lot of Nigerian men will go for counseling. Not a lot of Nigerian men will sit down with somebody that will be telling them that the way you are doing, the way you are behaving is wrong. It's not a lot of men that will do that. But I want us to take a quick break and then we'll come back and chisel in down and navigate deep down on this issue of how do we get to this point where women, men are mature, secure enough to stay married. Welcome back to the When I Wanted Out talk show. I'm still your host, Kola-Edun. We're talking about something before we went on the break. Coach Taiwo told us that when two people are in that kind of relationship where abuse is paramount in that relationship, he advises them to take a period of separation, think about it, and decide whether they want to come back. And if they do want to come back, they have to go through a process of counseling, they have to go through therapy. But what we were arguing as women on the set was men don't come for counseling. Men don't come for therapy. Even women that want the marriage to work and they're asking their husband, please come, he wouldn't come. So how do we get these men that are physically abusing their wives or pushing their wives to a place where the wife is questioning her sanity? How do we get them to go to therapy?
All right. So first and foremost, we need to know that men are full of ego.
Okay.
And the ego of women make us feel that we are kind of right in all things.
Right.
They try to want to, make us feel that like we are right, And in getting a man to want to come for counseling, to come for therapy, the wife will do some things. The married counselor will also do some things.
What should the wife do?
The wife will have to be more of loving and submissive for that period to get this man to come for therapy. And then the profile and the class of the married counselor they are going to too matters. If he's checked out and say, oh, this who this person is, that one can make him feel like,
yeah, but there are a lot of people that don't have the financial prowess.
Exactly.
They don't have the money to go and get a really expensive therapist, and their husbands keep beating them in the house. And you may even come to find, just like in this story, the man is a pastor, the man is a worker, the man is a deacon in his church. So she will go first to her pastor, which is where she feels like she has free access, right? So how does she navigate?
Well, the influence of the pastor too matters, because a pastor that, even as pastors, pastors, it's not all pastors that can counsel.
Okay.
So it's not all pastors that are certified to counsel. Everybody has their own area of strength. And so for pastors will know, those who are really, professionals.
Okay.
And then you can leverage on your pastor's influence to get the best for less.
Okay, I think a lot of people go to pastors, and pastors, like you said, some of them are not trained to be counselors. So I think as a woman, you need to understand whether your pastor has what it takes to counsel you and your husband, or understands the diplomacy that comes with doing that counseling. So we're gonna switch it up a little bit. She said she saw the red flags before she got married. Mm-hmm. What are the signs for someone that is about to get married? What are the signs a woman should look out for in a man that will pose as red flags for physical abuse in the marriage?
Okay. So, you're single. It starts from, are you insane? Are you crazy? It starts from there. You may say that and you feel, he's just getting angry. Don't worry. It starts from there. A man should not, or partners should not tell themselves, are you insane? Are you crazy? Are you mad?
Are you stupid?
Are you stupid?
Don't you think?
Don't you think? Don't you have a brain? Those things, it starts from there.
So
when you let that slide, they will look at you and be like, this woman, I have control over her. then you do something, it shoves you. It starts with a shove. A gentle, subtle shove. You don't say anything, you stay there because you love him. Most people love the dick. Oh, am I supposed to say this on?
Sorry, go ahead.
Most women, they like the penis more than the man. So some women, it shoves you. You're like, it's fine, it's okay. Then it slaps you once. And you're like, it's just once, he won't do it again. It begs you, it gives you gifts. Okay, so I've been in an abusive relationship before.
Right.
And so this person, if you're watching, I said I forgave you, but I just needed to talk about it.
Sure thing.
So what happened was, initially, you know, the relationship was sweet and everything. Then we went for an event. He's one of these top guys, so we went for an event. His office hosted an event, so when there was a buffet thing, he's so jealous and very, very possessive. So I started, from there, I started saying, I have to pull back. But you know now, when love has scattered your head as a woman, you will remain there. So a guy was in front of me, he wanted to take food. So I think he missed a meal. So he wanted to come back, then he stepped on me. So as he bent, and I also bent to check, my guy was just coming, and he held the guy like, what is your problem? That's my queen. You know, if I'm somebody that people know.
Yeah.
So everybody was shocked, like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong? Even me, I was like, what? As I said, what is, leave him alone. Lagbaja, leave him alone. He just pushed me. I said, thank God, I'm not doing it again. But he begged. Sometimes parents are also enablers. He begged. His father came to me, and his father begged for him. And because I respected the father, I said, okay, no problem.
Went back in.
I went back. Again, we were at a filling station, and the guy, the attendant that was trying to, oh God, this story I'm sharing. Anyway, the attendant that was supposed to fill the car was not feeling, just normal hailing, you know, like, fine auntie, yellow pawpaw, drop something for us. This guy came out and held the hose and hit the guy.
Oh no.
I was like, why would you talk to my own wife? Like, guy, I never marry you. So I just stepped out. Like, before this one will not kill me one day. So I left. Now, because of his level, his caliber of person, because of the kind of person he is and the people he rolls with, some people were like, this one, you know, you'll be enjoying, you know, if you marry this one, money for life, wealth for life. So, okay, so I should go and die early because of the money, because of the wealth. So I left.
So you said something, he was quite possessive.
Yeah.
He was quite possessive. He was jealous. So I think those are things
that you should look out for as a woman.
Right.
You know, some girls, I see them, they write, I love my man obsessed. I love my man possessive. You don't know what comes with it. Because, you know, it might get to a point that it's like, if I can't have you, then nobody else will have you. I've heard of men that threw acids on their girls just because they don't want another person to have her. So women stay there because of fear of unknown, and they like the dick more than the person, and also the money and the state. We see these things every day. You see, somebody has like 5 baby mamas, and another girl is still saying that is where she wants to enter by force by fire. We see a royal person that is having a harem of different women, and the women don't care. So sometimes I don't really feel too much, as in, I don't have pity on them for the rich ones, the educated ones, the supposedly exposed ones. I really do not pity them. The ones I really have feelings for are the downtrodden, the ones that are poor, that don't have a choice.
They're just managing the marriage.
So
yes, okay. So what would you say are red flags too? We've discussed possessive, we've discussed verbal abuse, emotional abuse. What else do you think they should look out for before going into that kind of relationship?
Yes, excessive hunger.
Excessive anger.
Yeah.
So anger problems.
Anger problem is there because whatever you are going to see in practical in marriage, you will see a trait of it in relationship.
Yes.
And then, so if you are not sensitive enough to know that it's a red flag, And the two, we tell singles that when love is blind in relationship, marriage will open your eyes. Marriage will open your eyes.
Yes.
And then when I'm talking to ladies, because I get to talk to ladies alone,
yes.
And then I used to tell them, I say, ladies, listen to me. If out of love, a guy slap you once in a relationship, if he slaps you once, you are a victim.
Yeah.
If you go ahead to marry him with that kind of nature, you are a volunteer.
You're volunteering to be BT.
Yeah.
He is a bitter, you are the BT. And then you get to enjoy the offer while the stock lasts. And the stock doesn't last. It doesn't last
very long.
Marriage. It lasts long.
Yes.
And so when somebody is displaying excessive kind of hunger, possessiveness, like she said, and then there's a part of laziness too on the part of a man, because a man that doesn't make effort to make money while he's single, do you now think automatically it will be up and doing
when
to
he's
want to make money
when he's married?
And you know, so all of this contributes to red flags.
Yes.
In a relationship that must not lead to marriage. You understand? And so
I want to actually even wrap this conversation up. What would you say to someone that is in a physically abusive marriage now? She has entered, she's inside, she doesn't know where to go. What should she do?
Okay, well, from a logical standpoint, I think she should see a therapist.
Okay.
She should see a therapist.
Okay.
Then after that, she should not go to any pastor. Because even the pastor's life is not even perfect. Pastors are going through a lot, but because they are pastors, the burden is already not on them to come out to look perfect to people. So she should see a therapist. And after seeing a therapist, then if she see, it's better for her to be alive than to be dead. So it's better for her to live. If she doesn't have a means, she can start planning her strategy from now. So I'm not saying you should leave now if you don't have any financial capacity to live now. But start planning. So you don't have a job, get a job. You don't have a business, start something. Just do anything. Start planning 2 years ahead. Just know that, okay, from now till I'll bear this thing for 2 years. After 2 years, I'm carrying my bags, carrying my children, and I'm leaving this man. But if you don't have any financial capacity, you're going from fry pan into fire. Because even the family members or the friends you want to go squat with, they have their own problems.
After a while,
you start to irritate them and they throw you to the streets. So just start planning from now. And for the already established women, what are you still staying and doing there? You don't want the man kill you before you leave. Carry your kanga and go. Thank you.
Sorry, before you chime in, do you know that there are women that actually enjoy the husband beating them so that they can get gifts? Very expensive gifts.
See, that guy I was telling you about will come back
and buy you.
Give me the ATM and the PIN. Take any amount you want. I wish it was now because I would carry money. Then I was naive. I was still young, so I would just take maybe 2K or 3K. Yeah, because there's nothing to buy. I had everything I needed. But now, if you gave me, I would wipe it. So, once you may stay for the gift, there's a woman that the husband beat her up and still brought a woman to the matrimonial bed. One of the event centers here is the gift that the husband gave to her for that incident.
Infidelity.
And she's still there. She's still there. Not even infidelity. I'm beating. And she's still there. And he's still beating her. And she said that, Shebi, this one is bringing money. He will beat her again. He will give her something else. So it's real.
So what is your advice to those going through physical abuse right now?
And anybody that is wise enough will choose life over marriage. That's what I tell people. The covenant of life is higher than the covenant of marriage.
Right.
It's very higher. And then so save your head first. Because when they lie alive, now with the test, still stay, no stay, go, come, relax, come.
If you don't go, yourself first.
Once the person is gone, the person is gone as a result of abuse. So whoever that is in it right now, I'm just praying that the person will find the right wisdom, will have the right wisdom to navigate this season, because it's not easy particularly when children are
involved. Yes.
When children are involved, it's just easy for us to just say, just go. Do everything, go. The aftermath of going, if the woman is not, like you said, financially capable,
right,
so to say, because it's just very painful because it's used to tear a person's life apart.
Right.
I have a childhood friend right now. She's separated, and I know what we went through to help her get out, to a level. I'm married to a guy, a young guy. She's a young lady too. A guy that has, multiple sexual partners come home, infect her, you get to treat, and then after that you get drunk and still come up, beat her. She doesn't know how to do anything right, and this and that. Every time I get to, receive a call from her, it pains my heart. Pains my heart. Because I believe that most women need to be sensitive when they want to make marital decisions. Don't make marital decisions based on emotions.
Right.
What you are saying now, you don't know what may happen tomorrow. And so when we say, hey, he has a car, he has this, he has a house, he has a this, is that what's going to give you fulfillment
in the marriage?
And when it's what, because I'm sorry, when people want to talk, they, when they want to blame women, they'll be like, Shebi, you saw the boys that were poor, you did not follow them, you went to follow rich men. See, it happens with both the rich and the poor, because it happens a lot. When you hear a story of violence, domestic violence, physical violence, what they say is, Shebi is you that wants to date somebody that has money now. When I'm sure that there is a young boy that was asking you that had nothing.
But those ones too, they're even more dangerous. Yes, they're more dangerous.
There's no justification for
those ones. Once their hand touch money, that's the end.
Right. There's no justification for whether it's poor or whether it's rich. Just ensure that you are marrying a person with a sound mental health.
Thank you.
Once the person is not okay, it can be
handsome. Because now, please, let's talk about women. Women abuse their men.
That's true. We didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about that.
We focus only on the men. Men don't talk. Men hide their emotions. They swallow it. And that's why many of them commit suicide. If you see the suicide rate, it is from men. Yeah. So women too, we should try our best to give our husbands or our men a safe haven. You know that you have scones. There's some women that are naturally crazy. And they'll say, yes, we know. But the man is providing.
That's true.
Feeling.
That's true.
It's giving problem.
That's true.
It's coming back. Yeah. You should be his peace. You should be his happiness. You should be his joy. Not that you not be giving him problem up and down. You'll be stressing the man. Some women look for beating. The man will sit on his own, go and meet her. You will kill me today. You will kill me today. I'm talking to you. You are not answering me. Answer me. Foolish man. We see it happens in real life. Yes. So women too. It doesn't. So this thing goes both ways.
Right.
But we hear more about the women because we cry loud the most.
That's true.
That's what I'm trying to
say.
So if
that's true.
The woman that comes to the counseling room, there's going to be a display of emotions more. And the counseling will let people know that if a man is guilty, the woman too can't be innocent.
That's true.
Yes, it's true. And if a man is innocent too,
if the woman is guilty, the man cannot be innocent.
That's true.
Because there is no smoke without fire.
Because in this story now, maybe the man was already calculating. And it's not balanced upstairs.
Right.
And at the time they are going, it wasn't school fees that the man wants to hear. The woman, the matter of school fees.
He asked how the school fees was going to be paid.
Matter now.
Yeah. But they can be in the bedroom and she will ask that.
He was the one that asked.
The man asked.
He asked how the school fees was going to be paid.
And she said, "Don't bother about it. I'll do it."
Okay, I thought it was.
No,
it was the woman
because she's the breadwinner.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just like mommy wa. Ba she first know what she there.
And the woman said,
how do we pay for Chidera?
And the woman said,
don't worry, just like the man, it should go mad, truly, because that's like a reverse scenario.
Yes. In his own mind was like, so how long will this thing continue? And then you always keep telling me, don't worry, and I'm just a useless.
But what was he expecting? He had no job. What was he expecting? He didn't have a job.
Honestly, I just feel that the man should be secured enough.
Exactly.
Exactly. So I think there's a place of insecurity. I think there's a place of insecurity. But this has been like a really fantastic episode, and I know if we continue, we're going to keep pushing it. Yes, but we've come to the end of this episode, and what we've taken away: physical abuse can happen to the man and can happen to the woman. Right? Now, when you're in a marriage that you're enduring physical abuse and you choose to stay there because of what you're getting, well, I think that's up to you. But if you're in a position where you have nowhere to go, you don't know what to do, you can start planning your exit. There are organizations now that are helping and supporting women. I know there is FIDA. I know that Lagos State has started something. Mm-hmm. You can go to these organizations to plan your exit to get out. And if you have the means to be able to stand on your 2 feet, please separate yourself for a while. It's better to be alive than we go for your burial and say we miss you and we love you. Please take time. Your children, nobody will take care of them. They won't do it the way you will. So please stay alive. With that, thank you very much. Thank you to our wonderful guests. Thank you to our wonderful guests. This has been such a fantastic episode. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you same time next week. Bye-bye.